What's going on YouTube? Ryan back from Dopemon again. We're continuing on with our review of the teams in the 2024 World Junior Hockey Championships. It's that time of year again, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to go through as many teams as I can, at least the top teams going into it. And we're continuing on with Team USA. We did Team Canada last video. Go check that out if you haven't already. We'll start off right away with the goaltenders, Trey Augustine, Jacob Fowler, and Sam Hillebrandt. I think this team's gonna go with Trey Augustine, but it might be my bias sneaking through. He's one of my favorite goaltenders last year's draft. Was a Detroit Red Wings draft pick, so they have a pretty good goaltender pipeline out there now with him and Sebastian Cossa. But Michigan State University goaltender, 11-3-2 this year with a .916 goals save percentage and a .297 goals against average in 17 games out there. He's played with the U.S. national team for forever. Played with this team last year. Didn't have a great tournament, but I think a year older, he'll be the de facto starter coming into this tournament. And if he's not, Jacob Fowler's your guy. 69th overall pick, nice of the Montreal Canadiens last season. .925 save percentage in Boston College this year. Very explosive goaltender. Kind of gets out of control a little bit, I think, sometimes. But he's a young goalie, and goalies are like that when they're young, so that's fine. But these are your two guys if you're rooting for Team USA this year. And that hope gets you to the promised land. Sam Hillebrandt is your third goalie. I don't know whether he's going to see much action, if any. He's undrafted 18-year-old. Plays for the Barrie Colts, actually, the OHL, which is kind of weird to see. You don't see a lot of... Generally, they don't go with Americans playing in Canada, and they do it on purpose. There's a couple of players who didn't make this team. Hunter Brstevich being one of them, I believe, who's lighting up the OHL and just didn't make this team, I think, because he doesn't play in the States. He plays in Canada. So I guess it doesn't count for goalies. You know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess, for a third string goalie. .980 or .998 save percentage for the Barrie Colts this year. OHL's a little weird for save percentage, but I don't think he'll see much ice. But he could, so we'll have him in here as third stringer. Your defense is going to be led this year by Lane Hutson. Lane Hutson was a 62nd overall pick by the Montreal Canadiens, another Montreal Canadian pick for the States. He's listed on Elite Prospects as 5'10". That is a 100% lie. He is so much smaller than that. I think I think he's probably closer to 5'8", but he is their offensive catalyst on the blue line. 20 points this year in 15 games. The Boston University NCAA team, and broke all kinds of records last year. 48 points in 39 games for Boston last year. He's so good. He's so talented. He's going to be the offensive driver of this blue line. But at least Elite Prospects is lying to you when he says he's 5'10". Ryan Chesley, I have him lining up with. And these are kind of partially my guesses, partially what they've done for pre-tournament games. A little bit of a mix. Anyway, 37th overall pick by the Washington Capitals, Ryan Chesley. This year in the University of Minnesota, only has 6 points in 18 games. That's all right. It's a tough league, NCAA. That just shows you how crazy Lane Hutson has been. He's a good transition defenseman. I think he's a good pairing for a guy like Lane Hutson who does move around a lot to create that offense. But I think he's a good pairing. He's his Mark Mathot to his Erik Karlsson. So I think that's a very good pairing for this team. Second pair here, we got Drew Fortescue and Seamus Casey. Drew Fortescue, 6'2" defenseman, New York Rangers draft pick. I believe last year, 90th overall. Yes, 90th overall. Offensive quarterback. What he's going to be. NCAA, Boston College, plays with Lane Hutson. 4 points, 17 games. Doesn't quite pay off dividends right away in the NCAA. But again, that shows you how sick Lane Hutson is. But he's going to get offense. he's their, I guess, number 2 offensive guy, their power play 2 guy. Very good at finding his defenseman, good one-touch pass, good first pass out of the zone. Drew Fortescue, underrated defenseman on this team, I think. Seamus Casey, another 5'9", 5'8" defenseman. Not a very big defense, but very, very talented. 46th overall for the New Jersey Devils 2 years ago. Good puck handler, great skating technique, 23 points in 18 games in the University of Michigan. There's a lot of offense coming out of this top 4 for defense for Team USA. A lot of offense, and his team's going to be really, really good. They might be sneaky. Not a lot of people are talking about them as potential favorites for gold this year. They won bronze last year, I believe, beating Sweden in the bronze medal game. They haven't won, I believe, since 2021 was the last time they won. They won bronze last year, quarterfinal, lost in the quarterfinals in 2022, but won gold in 2021. They're hoping to get back on the gold standard. Third pair, we have Zeev Buium and Eric Pohlkamp. Zeev Buium is a top prospect for the 2024 draft. He'll probably go in the first round. I'd be shocked if he didn't. He has 2 brothers. He's the youngest of 3 brothers. You might have remembered Shai Buium. He was on the short list to make this team last year for the U.S. I don't think he didn't make the team, I don't believe. And he has his oldest brother, Ben. Never got drafted, but he does play semi-professional hockey in the States. Zeev does play with his brother in the University of Denver, but he has 25 points in 18 games. Very good offensive guy. He's going to be the best out of his brothers, I think. That's for sure. And he's going to be a good addition to the bottom part of this defense core. Paired with him here, I have is Eric Pohlkamp, 5'11", San Jose Sharks draft pick, 132nd overall. Plays for Bemidji State University, 9 points in 16 games over there. I just noticed he's a -8 actually out there, so I don't know if you take too much stock in plus minus, but that's all right. But I think he's a good transition defender. I think he'll pair well on the bottom. He won't get a whole lot of minutes, not with this top 4. He's not going to play 20-plus minutes a night on this team. I don't think anyone will, other than maybe Lane Hutson and Ryan Chesley, as I just punched my microphone. Last pair here, we have Sam Rinzel and Aram Minnetian, I believe is how you say that name. Aram Minnetian. Sam Rinzel. These are 2 right-hand shot defensemen, I just realized, but that's all right. 6'4", right-hand shot defenseman, like I said, 25th overall by the Chicago Blackhawks 2 years ago. Part of that good Chicago Blackhawk prospect system they got going on right now. 11 points in 18 games, 1 goal for the University of Minnesota in the NCAA this year. Good shooter, good transition guy. I doubt he'll be into much offense on this team, to be honest. Not with the guys that they have up top, like I said, but could sneak in, could provide some very much needed depth scoring in the back end. I really love this defense for the United States. I think it's so deep that even the offensive guys in these bottom 2 pairings are going to get a lot of chance to do offense because of how good the top end is. And finishing it off is Aram Minnetian. I realize I've spelled Aram wrong. It's Aram with an A. My apologies. Dallas Stars draft pick, 125th overall. Dallas continues to draft insane. Boston College, another Boston College guy, 4 points in 17 games over there. So they have 3 Boston College defensemen by my count. Very creative, very good in the offensive end, but he's 5'11", and I wanted to keep pointing that out because there's not a lot of guys. I think Sam Rinzel at 6'4" is one of their only guys who is Drew Fortescue is 6'2", but everyone else is like 6 feet and smaller. So not a very big defense core, very highly offensive. They don't play a team like Team Canada, who's a very big defense. So I'd love to see that that difference in team construction, but unfortunately they're in the wrong group. But yeah, great core defense. I cannot wait to watch Lane Hutson play, dudes. it's going to be incredible to watch him play. And I'm going to cut real quick. We're going to do the forwards. All right, on to the forwards now. Start off, Quinn Finley, Cutter Gauthier, and Jimmy Snuggerud. I've already pronounced both names. Hi there, Ryan from the future here, editing this video right now. I'm realizing there's a reason why Quinn Finley kind of looks a little mismatched there, is because I think he's just a placeholder for a guy that I missed in my preparation. I completely missed the fact of Rutger McGroarty is on this team. He's actually the team's captain, and I, for some reason, missed him in my prep, so I apologize for that. But he should fit in on that left wing. I would assume he was injured going into this, so he is a game time decision, I think, for their first game. But we'll go through him. Rutger McGroarty, 14th overall pick for the Winnipeg Jets a couple years. He is a very good power forward type player. He had 18 points in 13 games before he got hurt. I think he crashed into the boards in that game and broke ribs, and he might have punctured a lung. I haven't read too much about it, but he's a very good offensive player, and it is definitely why Quinn Finley looks a little weird on that top line. It's Rutger McGroarty's spot. So everyone is just kind of get bumped down a little bit. And yeah, I just wanted to jump in here because I'm stupid and I forgot him. So Quinn Finley, I don't know if he's necessarily a top line caliber player, but I really like this line. Just fits well. I kind of predict lines as to kind of, I set up lines a little differently that I think will ultimately happen, but I like this line. He's a 78th overall pick of the New York Islanders. Plays for the University of Wisconsin, 7 points in 18 games for them. Great shot. Drives to the net. Very good offensive player. And to pair him with Cutter Gauthier. Cutter Gauthier was a 5th overall pick 2 years ago by the Philadelphia Flyers. He's going to be one of the better offensive forwards on this team. He's also going to be one of the best defensive forwards on this team. He's a very good two-way player. 23 points in 17 games for Boston College this year. Another Boston College player. I think he's their best forward, personally. I don't know if he's their best offensive gifted or best shot. I think he's just the best number one center they can possibly run out there. And Jimmy Snuggerud, right wing, 6'2", 23rd overall pick of the St. Louis Blues 2 years ago. I think just he is such a good fit for Cutter Gauthier. I don't know what it is. 16 points in 18 games for the University of Minnesota. He's very good at creating offense, and he's very deceptive coming in to the offensive zone. And I think he plays that he plays a good neutral zone game that I think will pair well with a guy like Cutter Gauthier, Quinn Finley out there as well. I like the look of this line. I don't know if this will be the number one line or if they'll even go with this, but that's what I would go with. I didn't even say it yet. Isaac Howard, Frank Nazar, and Gavin Brindley as my second line. Isaac Howard, forever is going to be one of my favorite American players. He's the guy that in the draft a couple years ago came out with that white suit with the American belt buckle, and he's just got the great attitude. He said, I'm the best looking guy here. I might as well dress the best, I think is what he said. And I love that attitude. Forever be a fan. 31st overall in the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2022. Great skater. Plays for Michigan State University this year. He played for, I think, Minnesota Duluth last year. 20 points, 18 games, Michigan State. Like I said, great puck, great skating, good puck handler. Could absolutely be on the top line of this team. If you wanted to kick Quinn Finley down, I think you absolutely could. I have him playing with Frank Nazar down the middle. 5'9", 13th overall pick by the Chicago Blackhawks in 2022. University of Michigan as well. 18 points in 18 games. Small, highly skilled, good skater, good in the neutral zone defensively. an offensive dynamo. I think that kind of sums up the entire American team, or most of it. Frank Nazar is Exhibit A on that count. Gavin Brindley, I have him lining up beside him. Another University of Michigan guy, 5'9", again, 34th overall draft pick last year, 2023, by the Columbus Blue Jackets. One of the best prospect systems in the league right now, Columbus. 18 points in 18 games. I had to make sure I wasn't on the same stat sheet as Frank Nazar. Almost has an identical stat sheet to his centerman. Play together this whole line. Michigan State University. University of Michigan, Michigan State University are two different universities. But all play out of Michigan. Obviously, these guys all know each other, being the U.S. National Team Development Program for years. I think it's a perfect second line. Third line, we're going to go with Gabriel Perreault, Will Smith, and Ryan Leonard. Gabe Perreault normally plays on the right wing, apparently, according to Elite Prospects, but he's a left-handed shot, 5'11", 23rd overall pick by the New York Rangers, getting in there, and he's the son of Yannick Perreault, but he does not play like him. If I remember from my scouting last year, Yannick Perreault was a hyper-defensive player. This guy is a little more on the offensive side. 25 points in 17 games for Boston College. Another Boston College guy. Great hands. The opposite of his father. I actually thought his defensive game was a little bit lacking last year, but a year older. And his team is really good, but he's got to pick it up, I think, in his own end just a little bit. Playing with Will Smith, Boston College guy. 4th overall pick, I think, is one of the higher overall picks on this team. Last year by the San Jose Sharks. He's one of the best. He's probably the best puck handler on this team. The puck sticks to his stick. It's just when he carries the puck, you can just tell how confident he is with it. 23 points in 17 games for Boston College. These two play together. It's an easy two to put together. And lastly on this line, again, Boston College. Ryan Leonard, normally a center down there, but I put all the teammates on this line. 6-foot right-hand shot, 8th overall pick by the Washington Capitals last year. I think Will Smith and Ryan Leonard were both top draft picks last year, or both intended to be top draft picks. There was no surprises. They were going to be top 10 picks. 18 points in 17 games. Boston College, Ryan Leonard. Fourth line. Oliver Moore, Danny Nelson, and Gavin Hayes. They're no longer all teammates. We've got the rest of them now. Oliver Moore on the left side, normally a center. Someone's got to play wing on this team. 19th overall Chicago Blackhawk pick last year. University of Minnesota, 12 points in 18 games. When we start to see a little bit of a drop, but he's a good battler. He's a good skater. And he's, I think, a very good bottom 6 player for this team. I have him paired up here with Danny Nelson down the middle, 49th overall pick of the New York Islanders. He has 14 points in 18 games for the University of Notre Dame. The Disney movie, not a Disney movie, Ryan. University of Notre Dame. He's a very good off-the-puck player. I think, again, very good for the bottom 6 of this team. This team is incredibly hyper-offensive. They need a couple guys that can be thrown out there to A, kill penalties, and B, play good off-the-puck defense. A lot of these guys are very good with the puck, but as soon as they lose it, they have a hard time defending in the neutral zone and in their own zone without it. A guy like Danny Nelson kind of plugs that hole. And Gavin Hayes I have here. He's a Flint Firebird. He's one of the only OHL players on this team. There's a couple, but they are rare. Chicago Blackhawks pick 66th overall in 2022. He's the assistant captain for the Flint Firebirds, 36 points, 27 games out there. Last year, he had 81 and 66, so he can be very offensive. He's always looking to create. He's very flashy. But again, I think for this line, he's very good off the puck. I think a good fit for the bottom, maybe not fourth line, but maybe third line, bottom 6 of this team. And finally, Carey Terrance. Carey Terrance is a dual citizen. I think there are a couple on this team. He's American and Canadian, but he was born in the United States and he's choosing to play for the United States. 59th overall pick last year of the Anaheim Ducks. Good two-way player, 34 points in 28 games for the Erie Otters this year. Good player off the rush. Good guy to, I think, play. I kind of have this 13th forward as a guy who can plug in everywhere. If you watch the Team Canada video we just did, I had Owen Beck there. Can play everywhere. Can play down the middle, on the top six, in the bottom six, on the penalty kill, on the power play. Another guy like that, Carey Terrance. Very plug-and-play guy. Will get his minutes. I don't think there'll be a lot of players on this team that end up only playing that 2 or 3 minutes a night. I think they'll roll all of these guys through. It's going to be a very good team and is very scary. They beat Canada in a pre-tournament game, I believe today, 6-5. So they have the offensive ability to blow teams out, whether they are good defensively or not. So we're very interested to see what the Team USA can do in this upcoming World Junior Championship. Like I said, bronze last year, looking to get back to their gold ways. But yes, that is Team USA. Let me know what you think. Critique my lines. I think they were a little different today, but they'll be changing all throughout the World Juniors. Starts in a couple days. Can't wait. They're in Group B, the Americans. Not with Canada. They're with Czechia, Norway, Slovakia, and Switzerland. So they have they don't have to play Canada, but they do have to play Czechia, who we'll get to, and I think is a little underrated going into this tournament. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like on the end of this video. Subscribe. Really appreciate it. World Juniors. Most wonderful time of the year.